Walmart, the king of low prices and bulk savings, just dropped a bombshell. After years of promising to keep things cheap and simple, they've now announced prices are going up. Back in office, Donald Trump vowed to protect American jobs with aggressive tariffs. The idea was simple: tax imported goods, make them pricier, and force companies to move production back to the United States. It was marketed as a patriotic win, but the reality? It's spiraling out of control. Trump's new tariffs hit nearly everything, starting with a 10% blanket tax on all imports. Then things escalated. Goods from China and Vietnam were slammed with up to 30% tariffs. That $100 product, it now costs $130 to bring into the country. And guess who pays that extra $30? You do. Let's take actual Walmart items, electronics, up 25%. Power tools? Same story. Even grocery products with imported ingredients are rising in price. From LED bulbs to kitchen appliances, tariffs are quietly making everyday goods more expensive. Their entire model depends on low-cost global imports. They can't eat those extra costs forever. Eventually, they pass them on to the customer. What was supposed to punish China is now hitting American families, right at the checkout. It's not just about money. Walmart's global supply chain, once smooth and reliable, is now bogged down in red tape and soaring fees. The result? Stocking shelves is harder, and keeping prices low is near impossible. This isn't just about economics, it's about people. Families who are already stretched thin are now paying more for the same essentials. And most don't realize it's all thanks to tariffs sold under the banner of America First. While customers noticed prices creeping up, something much bigger was happening inside Walmart. In early 2025, top executives gathered in what insiders now call the war room. Their mission? Figure out how to keep the company afloat while tariffs shredded their supply chain. Walmart began quietly shifting huge parts of its supply network away from the United States. Products that used to move through Arkansas or North Carolina were suddenly rerouted, now headed to Mexico, Vietnam, and other Southeast Asian countries. No press release, no tweet, just quiet, calculated moves to survive. Why? Because doing nothing would have cost them billions. This wasn't political. It was self-preservation. Walmart mobilized its logistics teams, global suppliers, and legal experts to overhaul its entire operation. Internal documents show shipping contracts were rewritten in days. Distribution centers were reconfigured. Trucks that once carried goods from U.S. ports now haul products across international borders. For decades, Walmart was proud of its American roots. Buy American signs filled stores, patriotic ads played on TVs. But now, that same company is choosing to send jobs and orders abroad because Washington made staying domestic too costly. While most customers think this is about a slight price jump on toilet paper, the truth runs deeper. Walmart is rewriting its DNA. The decision wasn't made on a stage. It was made in a closed boardroom, under pressure and in complete secrecy. When former President Trump found out about Walmart's shift, he didn't take it well. According to sources, he exploded in a closed-door meeting at Mar-a-Lago. He reportedly called it a betrayal. To him, Walmart was a symbol of American strength, proof that made in the USA could succeed with the right policies. But now, the largest retailer in the nation was moving its operations offshore, and it felt personal. He allegedly threatened to revoke Walmart's federal contracts, worth hundreds of millions. Then he went even further, floating the idea of a formal investigation into Walmart for what he called corporate disloyalty. Yes, he wanted to punish them for trying to survive under the very rules he put in place. That's the irony. It was Trump's own tariffs that triggered all of this. He built the trap, and Walmart escaped rather than collapse. What else were they supposed to do? Trump's public messaging still leans hard on patriotism and job creation, but behind the scenes, he's now attacking companies struggling to adapt to his policies. If even Walmart can't make America First work, who can? Walmart likes to sell a feel-good vision of the future, their Grow With Us plan, full of smiling workers and colorful graphics. But behind the scenes, something much darker is unfolding. That so-called growth plan, it involves cutting U.S. jobs, and not just a few, thousands, maybe more. As Walmart shifts production overseas and automates at home, two things are happening: fewer American suppliers and fewer in-store workers. Cashiers, replaced by self-checkout stations, night stalkers, replaced by AI and smart robots. Over the last year, Walmart shut down dozens of training centers, slashed full-time jobs, and accelerated automation in hundreds of stores. One internal estimate suggests they could cut up to 20% of their frontline workforce in the next 18 months. This isn't just a business choice. It's fallout from policy. Trump's tariffs were meant to protect workers. Instead, they made hiring in America more expensive and outsourcing more appealing. Walmart is reacting the way any giant company would, by slashing costs to stay alive. The people hurt most? The very workers those tariffs were supposed to protect, especially in small towns and rural communities. This isn't just a failure, it's a betrayal. It's not stopping with Walmart. Over the past 60 days, more than 100 American manufacturers have announced moves to Mexico, Vietnam, and other lower-cost regions. These aren't minor operations. They include major players in furniture, auto parts, and electronics, industries that power local economies across the U.S. When Walmart shifts sourcing from Indiana to Vietnam, the message is loud and clear. The old system is broken, and companies are responding. Small towns that depended on one factory or one major contract are being left behind. These are the same places Trump vowed to protect. Now, they're watching their last economic lifelines vanish. Remember Harley-Davidson? They moved some production overseas during Trump's first term to avoid tariffs. General Motors did something similar. Back then, it caused a stir. Now it's becoming business as usual. You don't need to follow the stock market or read corporate memos to see what's going on. Just walk into your local Walmart. Customers across the country are already noticing it. Higher prices, half-stocked shelves, and more frequent shortages. TVs that cost $299 last year now ring up at over $400. Everyday items like tools, cleaning products, even toothpaste, prices are climbing while choices shrink. One shopper in Ohio said it felt like every aisle had empty spots. In Texas, a store employee told reporters they'd been warned to prepare for more disruptions, both in stock and staffing. This isn't random. It's the ripple effect of tariffs and supply chain chaos. Goods that once flowed easily from China or Vietnam now face steep import taxes. Shipping is being rerouted. New suppliers in other countries aren't up to full speed yet. All this means delays, bottlenecks, and rising costs. Even Walmart, once the undisputed champion of supply chain efficiency, is struggling to keep products on shelves without jacking up prices. That's a massive red flag. Walmart's brand was built on everyday low prices. That promise made it a lifeline for working families. But now that foundation is cracking. The store once known for affordability is starting to feel like any other overpriced chain that's not just frustrating. It's heartbreaking. For millions, Walmart isn't just a store. It's where you get groceries when times are tight. It's where your mom fills her prescriptions. It's where your kid gets their school gear. Now it's the place where everything costs more and delivers less. Now here's the sting. When Walmart announced its overseas shift and looming price hikes, the stock took a dip, but only briefly. Then it shot back up. Why? Because investors realized something most people hadn't yet offshoring could make Walmart even more profitable. Wall Street wasn't upset about lost U.S. jobs or higher prices. It was thrilled. Financial analysts estimate Walmart's global pivot could save the company billions, even with tariffs, because manufacturing in Vietnam or Mexico is still far cheaper than in the United States. One expert even called it smart business, no matter how Washington feels. Think about that. While workers in Arkansas or Ohio fear layoffs, investors in New York are cheering. The market is betting against American labor and betting that Walmart will thrive by leaving them behind. Trump's tariffs, meant to punish foreign nations, are now encouraging American companies to abandon the country altogether. Wall Street loves it. That's not just a policy failure, it's a betrayal. You'd think seeing all this unfold, Trump might reconsider, but reports say he's doubling down. His team is reportedly drafting a new round of tariffs, this time targeting not just imports, but American companies that move production overseas. That includes giants like Walmart. One proposal, a tariff on goods brought back into the United States from companies that offshored operations after 2023. So if Walmart ships from Mexico to U.S. shelves, they pay a heavy penalty. To Trump, this is about loyalty. He sees Walmart's move as betrayal. But economists are already warning loudly. This would cause a bigger shock than we've seen so far. One expert said prices would spike overnight. Another warned of legal battles, WTO clashes, and fresh waves of job losses as businesses scramble to adapt. If Trump follows through, it could mean even higher prices, more store closures, and another painful blow for American families. Remember, this all started with tariffs that were supposed to protect jobs. Now they might destroy even more. Picture this. Your small town has one major anchor, Walmart. It's where people shop, work, even gather. But in the coming months, the store cuts hours, then staff. Then one day it closes, no warning, no replacement, just empty parking lots. That's not a dystopian fantasy. It's already happening in parts of the country. Walmart is quietly stepping back from opening stores in rural towns. Instead, they're investing in automation, online delivery, and offshore infrastructure. A leaked memo from early 2025 confirmed it. Walmart is slowing U.S. expansion to protect margins and streamline operations. Translation: fewer physical stores, less presence in small-town America. Local suppliers lose deals, truckers get fewer routes. Nearby businesses, gas stations, fast food joints, corner shops, lose customer traffic. The local economy slows, then stalls. Remember Mid-Continent Nail in Missouri? One of the last U.S. nail manufacturers. After Trump's 2018 steel tariffs, their costs surged. Orders dried up. Hundreds of jobs were lost. Within months, the factory was silent. Now imagine that happening across hundreds of Walmart locations. That's the fear if this trend continues unchecked. Washington is scrambling, but they're too late. The shift is already underway. And small-town America, once promised a comeback, is now watching another pillar collapse. Trump made big promises: bring jobs back, rebuild factories, revive Made in America. Instead, tariffs made producing in America more expensive. Companies like Walmart were squeezed. Higher costs on raw materials and finished goods meant shrinking profits and a scramble for cheaper options abroad. Walmart, the poster child for heartland values, found itself stuck. And now, the very ads that once celebrated America First ring hollow, as the company ships out jobs and raises prices for the families it used to serve. This is the power of global capitalism. It doesn't care about slogans. It follows the money. To where labor is cheap, regulations are light, and profits are higher. That's what's guiding Walmart now, not patriotism. And it's not just their story. It's the story of dozens of U.S. giants caught between political soundbites and cold economic reality. So while politicians preach nationalism, the market is forcing companies to go global. This story isn't just about Walmart or Trump. It's about the future of jobs, towns, and families in America. We're at a crossroads. Do we let policymakers keep doubling down on strategies that raise prices and cut jobs? Or do we demand smarter decisions? If you're tired of corporations leaving while your costs go up, it's time to speak out. Hit, like if you want leaders to hold companies accountable, not just for profits, but for the people who power this country. Subscribe for real, no-spin stories that get to the truth. And comment below. Should companies stay loyal to the U.S. even if it cuts into profit? Or is survival the only thing that matters in today's economy? Because this isn't just about money. It's about values and who we want to be as a country. The time to choose is now.